Hi everyone, this is Devin over at Sinister Machine Works. I want to just go over um, part quoting, shop expenses, stuff like that. I know guys getting into this kind of work and business, it can be difficult to figure out how much money you actually need to make, or what your actual expenses are. So I put together a little part estimator, just to help somebody starting out or somebody that wanted to be able to quote parts to figure out exactly how much it costs them to do the parts. So if you have a job, like this, and be like, well, I could do that for $3 a piece or $10, whatever, and you actually figure it out, and it costs you $10 just to machine it. You'd be lucky to break money or break even on it, or you potentially lose money. So I'm gonna show you a part estimator that I put together, and I'll have a link at the bottom of the video so you can download it, use it however way you can. Hopefully it helps. This is just something quick that I put together just to give you an idea. Change it however way you need to suit your business. I just hope it helps some of you guys trying to figure this out. Here we have the part estimator. Up at the top, we have your equipment costs, business costs, part costs, and I got some formulas in there so that you can change stuff around. I just put in here, like machine payment. Say, you have one machine you're paying $1,200 a month on. Put that in there. You have another machine that's $350 a month. Whatever, it might be zero. You might not have any machine payments, so you can zero that out, and it'll go through and change what your cost per hour is. So I'm gonna go back here and just put some numbers in, um, like that. Business costs over here, this is gonna vary a ton. Labor, if you have somebody hired, $20 per hour might not be enough. If you have just yourself, you're just working part time, whatever. It's all gonna be different. Somebody that has 4 employees, whatever, it's gonna be a lot more. So, change just what you need. I just put $20 an hour for labor costs. Insurance, $150 a month. Utilities, $150 a month. Rent, if you rent a place or you have a mortgage, put that in there. And this is all going to change down here for what it costs per hour, what it costs per minute to run your shop. So here's where you figure it out. If you're doing it part time, you say you want to work 40 hours a month, put 40. If you're going to do it full time and you can do 160 hours a month, it's going to change your cost per hour down here and your cost per minute. Say you can only get in your shop 20 hours a month. You have a pretty high cost per hour if you're making machine payments and everything like that. So let's just go in here and say you're a part-time shop doing it after hours. If you have a day job, we're going to put 40 hours in here. You have a machine payment up here, and you have another, say, cheaper machine. This might be a mill, this might be a lathe, or whatever. Just put that in there. You want to make $20 an hour, perfect. Utilities is going to cost you something to run your machines, and insurance. It might be cheaper, might be more. You might pay rent. We'll just say $200 a month rent, just to have some sort of number. Right here is your base cost added up, and then it's divided by per hour. that you can work. So 40 hours divided by your base costs up here. That's what it costs per hour to run your shop, and here's what it costs per minute. Over here, I have a parts cost total. So material, that's pretty easy to figure out. You have a chunk, 6061 aluminum, say inch by 2 by 3 inch. Okay, you're gonna have $2.81 in that piece. For the job, you're gonna need some tooling. Always, always account for tooling, whether it's an end mill that you use all the time, drill bit that you use all the time. You need to replace this eventually, so always have that in there. If you don't, you'll end up running out of tooling, or you have a tooling bill that doesn't get paid because you haven't collected any kind of money for it. Right here's your machine time, and this can vary a little bit. Just do it rough, like what Fusion tells you, or if you did a demo part, say you have 8 minutes of machining one piece. Just put this in here per minute here is 8. And then if you're going to do the job, say there's going to be 50 of them, put 50 in here. If there's going to be 20, put 20. Right here is your cost per part. So what this takes is your material costs, your tooling costs, and your machine time. Your machine time is the 8 minutes times your 148. So right here is your cost per part. It costs you $15.12 to make that one part, which the piece of tooling costs you, or a piece of material costs you $2.81. So if you told the guy you could do it for $10, technically you'd be losing money. Are you really losing money? Maybe. It might be one of those deals where you just need some fill work and you're over your allotted work time for the month. So this might be free time that doesn't go against your business costs. So $10 might work, but really, you should always try to keep it up here at that $15. If you worked 160 hours in a month, well, you're down to $8.25 per part. So you could do that for $10 a part, but that's if you're doing 160 hours a month, and this 160 hours is actual time that you need to have. So if you say you're working 160 hours a month and you're sitting around for 40 of those hours, you're not really working 160 hours, or your machines aren't. So you go back to 120, and then we're at $9 a part. It's $10, you'd still make a little profit, but it's just something that you got to keep in mind. Right here I put in a profit factor. So what this is if you want to make 20% on your part, you do 1.2. If you want to make double your money, you put a 2.0. Your $9 part turns into $18. Say you want to break even for some reason, 901. 50%, 1382, or 1352. Here's your total job. So this is what you could tell your customers once you figure it out, that you could do 50 of them. It's going to be $675. And down here is your profit per part. That way you can figure out, just what you're actually making on this job. Again, this is just a super high level. I hope you can use this to help your business or learn about it. This would be great for guys trying to justify if they can afford a machine, if it's worth buying a machine. Can I afford the payment? You buy a Tormach mill, they tell you, it's $1,200 a month to payment, or whatever it says next to when you buy it. You know pretty much what it's going to cost you for that machine, and then you can go through and actually figure out what you could make a month. You know, if you can make your $1,200 a month to pay for your machine, you know, great. You know, if you want to make $2,000 to pay for that machine faster, perfect. Last thing anybody wants to do is lose money doing this kind of job. So uh, please use this however way you need to, because I hope it helps. I use it quite often just to make sure that I'm not doing a job for nothing. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Any suggestions, you know, let me know. I'll try to help out as much as I can. Thanks for watching the video, and please like and subscribe. Thank you.